Уважаемые коллеги, добрый день, добрый вечер.
Distinguished colleagues, good evening. Today we're going to discuss two important topics on the priorities of Russia's chairmanship of the CSTO in 2026 and on Russia's strategy in countering neo-colonial practices. I suggest that the Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov address both the first and second topics. We can begin.
Vladimir Vladimirovich, if I may.
Yes, please, Valentina Ivanovna Matvienko.
There is currently a lot of discussion around the world about U.S. President Donald Trump's 28-point peace plan for the Ukrainian crisis. Before we begin discussing the main items on the agenda, could you please share your opinion and your attitude towards this plan and how it relates to your recent talks with Trump in Alaska?
Yes, of course, there is no secret here. We have hardly discussed this publicly, only in very general terms. But it is no secret. President Trump's peace plan for resolving the situation in Ukraine was discussed prior to the meeting in Alaska. During these preliminary discussions, the American side asked us to make certain compromises and to show, as they put it, flexibility. The main point and purpose of the meeting in Alaska was that during the talks in Anchorage, we confirmed that, despite certain difficult issues and complications on our part, we nevertheless agree with these proposals and are ready to show the flexibility offered to us. We have informed all our friends and partners in the Global South, including the People's Republic of China, India, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, South Africa, Brazil, and many other countries and CSTO countries of course in detail about all these issues. All of our friends and partners, I want to emphasize this, every single one of them supported these possible agreements. However, we see that after the talks in Alaska, there has been a certain pause on the American side. We know that this is due to Ukraine's de facto rejection of the peace settlement plan proposed by President Trump. I believe that this is precisely why a new version of it has appeared, essentially, a modernized plan consisting of 28 points. We have this text. We received it through our existing channels of communication with the U.S. administration. I believe that it too could form the basis for a final peaceful settlement. But this text has not been discussed with us substantively. I can guess why. I believe the reason is the same. The U.S. administration has so far failed to secure the agreement of the Ukrainian side. Ukraine is against it. Apparently, Ukraine and its European allies are still under the illusion that they can inflict a strategic defeat on Russia on the battlefield. I think this position is based not so much on a low level of competence, I will not discuss this aspect of the matter now, but most likely, on a lack of objective information about the real situation on the battlefield. Apparently, neither Ukraine nor Europe understands where this may ultimately lead. I can give you the most recent example, Kupyansk. Quite recently, as we remember, on November 4th, 2 weeks ago, it was publicly stated in Kyiv that there were no more than 60 Russian servicemen in this city, and that within the next few days, as was said, this city would be completely unblocked by Ukrainian troops. But I want to inform you that by that moment, on November 4th, the city of Kupyansk was almost entirely in the hands of the Russian armed forces. Our guys were, so to speak, just finishing up and clearing out individual neighborhoods and streets. The fate of the city had already been sealed at that point. What does this tell us? Either the leaders in Kyiv do not have objective information about the situation on the front line, or they have it but are simply unable to assess it objectively. If Kyiv does not want to discuss President Trump's proposal and refuses to do so, then both they and the European warmongers must understand that the events that took place in Kupyansk will inevitably be repeated in other key areas of the front. Perhaps not as quickly as we would like, but it will inevitably happen again. Overall, this suits us, as it leads to the achievement of the goals of the SMO, Special Military Operation, by armed means and in the course of armed struggle. But, as I have said many times before, we are ready for peace talks and for resolving issues peacefully. However, this requires a substantive discussion of all the details of the proposed plan. We are ready for this. Let us now move on to the topics proposed for discussion at today's Security Council meeting. You have the floor, Sergei Viktorovich Lavrov.